Hey guys, welcome back to the Trevor May Baseball channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video if you enjoy it. I thought this was a topic that is relevant in baseball right now, something that someone were talking about the other day with the Astros and the Red Sox, Framber Valdez. They were talking a lot about tipping pitches and what that means and how do you fix it on the fly. I have a lot of experience in catching and fixing tipping pitches. It started all way back in my rookie year. I used to completely fan my glove out and tap my hand differently, and everything looked different when I threw my curveball. And then Torrey Hunter, who was on the Detroit Tigers at the time, came over to the Twins to finish his career in 15. Said, "Hey, man, I just want you to know we knew when your curveball was coming every time, but we did not know when your changeup was coming." And it's weird, but all of my tips are almost always attached to a breaking ball and my fastball. It's like my changeup is never picked up, but the other ones are because it involves digging the glove or something. So this season, it was actually June 14th and then June 16th. I made an adjustment on the 15th of June because of the outing of the 14th. We were playing the Chicago Cubs. I gave up 2 solo home runs, one to Anthony Rizzo and one to Patrick Wisdom. And where I felt my stuff was pretty good that day, I felt I was locating fairly well that day. And there were some really, really good swings taken on some pitches. It compounded with the fact that I had been struggling a little bit the few outings before that as well. And it got me thinking, when I go back and analyze outings, I say, hey, was this my game plan? Was this my ability to execute? Or was it my ability to focus? If it's not one of those 3 things, then usually it's just a hitter beating me. I look at those 3 elements. I break down the pitch where I was and how I felt about it. And if I can't find an issue anywhere and I'm still struggling a little bit and my stuff feels good, then there might be something out of my control, something that I'm not thinking about, tipping usually, that I need to fix. And here's an adjustment that I made between those 2 outings that I think not only helped me feel more confident in throwing my pitches over the plate, because once you don't know what's going on and guys are putting good swings on everything you throw, you get a little bit less confident in throwing the ball over the plate. So you tend to kind of nibble a little bit more, and that causes other problems. Not only did it give me a little more confidence, but the results also speak for themselves. I don't think the results have more to do with being able to throw the ball where I wanted to that day. But if you look at the swings and the way that the pitches are recognized, there feels like a difference whether I was tipping or not. These guys are also, the Anthony Rizzo's, Javi Baez, Chris Bryant's, that Cubs team has a core of guys who are good at noticing these things. They've been around for a long time. They don't get to be as good as they are without getting seeing things that they can take advantage of. Not that I know for certain, but making an adjustment and getting rid of something that I think might be tipping can hurt, and it can only help. So let's get into it. Let's look at the 2 different days. It actually started with this pitch. I believe it's a 1-1 pitch, me against Anthony Rizzo. I wanted to give him I wanted to use my breaking ball this day. That was part of my plan, approaching some of these lefties especially, because it was a solid pitch against him. Middle of the count, I don't throw a lot of breaking balls in the middle of the count, so it's not like it's a predictable count for me to throw a breaking ball. But I want you to notice one thing: my hand separation and how slowly I bring my leg up. That is very, very important to notice here, and that is the thing that I'm going to be changing. How I come set is also a little bit of an adjustment, but we will talk about that in a moment. But what you will see that I'm doing on the 14th, the first outing as opposed to the second outing, is the speed at which my leg comes up and how I separate my hands, like how far away my hands are from my body when I deliver to the plate. So let's watch it here. This is a breaking ball, middle of the count, where he takes a really good swing. He's a great hitter. Obviously, this was the first pitch I saw that was like, maybe I'm tipping. Well, separate, slow down, breaking ball.
Nothing else to kind of get into that bullpen a little bit.
Really, really comfortable, strong swing. If we can get there. I'm slow leg kick. My hands are separated from my body a little bit, and I do a tap. Like I bring the ball out in a tap, so you can see some distance here between my body and my hands. And then when I go tap, I pull the ball out of my glove just a little bit, which might be able to be seen from home plate. I wasn't quite certain with the camera view from behind plate, because we have that ability to look at it, but and I couldn't really see, but you could see varying distances between my hands and my body as I pitched that day. And there's the pitch, and he looks like he identified it fairly quickly out of my hand, and it wasn't located very well either. That doesn't help, but he took a really, really good swing on it, on a pitch I don't usually throw in that situation, which was, in my opinion, I was like, I should start looking at some other stuff, I think. So that takes us to later in that at bat. We got a 2-2 fastball. Now we are 2-2 count. And if you watch, that last pitch was a slider. I had some separation between my hands. Let's see if we can pause it. It seems to be slightly closer. Actually, it looks about the same, and you can see it out of my hand. You can see the bottom part of my hand, I think, from home plate. I think he has a view on here, so we can see a portion of the ball in my hand for a split second that is filling up that gap between my hands. And I'm going nice and slow, so he's got lots of time to see it. It's very methodical. We want a fastball away. I don't locate, right? I leave it middle in, which is his go-go zone. And he did not get it. He got it. That's pretty much into New Jersey. So I'm pissed. I'm mad. I haven't thrown well. I'm super. There's Trevor Williams clapping. I'll let him know that I don't appreciate that in the future. But I'm slow, methodical to the plate. I think that had something to do with it. But there might have been something with the hands that was being identified. Again, let's go and look at Patrick Wisdom. Here's me. I'm set. I'm not really showing anything here. I feel okay where my hands are and stuff. Like, this whole thing is pretty quiet. There's not a lot there, and I like to try to pin my glove against my belt. This is fairly well located. Again, it's a 2-2 pitch. Again, not a pitch I throw a lot 2-2. And I throw him a good number of fastballs up, so I was going to tunnel this off really well. He's a pretty good breaking ball hitter, but this was well enough located. But I was interested because of, again, the slow, methodical hands. Again, separated a little bit. See the bottom of my hand. I think on slider and curveball, or slider and fastball, they might be slightly different, but it's the methodical leg kick. And then I'm like, make a good pitch. It's middle, but he was just on it. And that guy had a great year. Tip of the cap to both these guys. They executed good pitches, and they executed on some pitches that weren't the best pitches I've ever made, but they were also much like more comfortable swings than I'm used to getting on mistakes, because guys have to respect my fastball so much that at times a tip is something that allows people to eliminate a pitch, and maybe they were eliminating the fastball, or they were eliminating changeup. They were eliminating something that led them break it down to make me a 2-pitch pitcher, which makes it a little bit easier to stay back on something and identify pitches out of your hand. That's what happened here. He got all of it. He crushed it. Both homers were crushed. But I went in after this game, and I needed to explain what was going on. So what I did, and what you will see the next day, here's another slider the same way. So I need you to notice something with my hand placement here. My hand placement is exactly the same. But one thing that I started doing is I kept my glove kind of here the whole time. It was always on my hip, and I would just bring the ball. So I just come set and move the ball over to the glove. There was no like moving the glove, come and set, and then keep pulling my glove to my body. My glove was always pinned to my body, so I was just like sliding the ball in, i.e. Brad Lidge, how he used to do it. He used to have the glove flat on his stomach or at his belt, and he would just slide the ball in, so you never see. There was no way to ever see when he was getting his grip. So I did that. You can't see it in these videos because they're cut a little bit short, but that is something I was doing. It's something to keep in mind. I am set at my glove at my belt again, so this set's the same. But what you'll notice when I come up, much faster, much smoother, and my hand is against my body. So I got rid of this gap that could vary pitch to pitch. So I was like, let's just take away that identifier. So this is 0-0. This is the first pitch to him. And my hands are closer. And it's a great located pitch, but again, there was no offer at all. He wasn't thinking about offering, because just in case there was a tip and it's not there anymore, you go up expecting it, don't see it, he changed it, you take a pitch. Like, I've been told by a lot of hitters, they're like, you go up expecting something, see something you didn't expect. A lot of times you're just like, okay, let me reset here on how I'm going to approach this AB, because I don't have that thing I had before. And that's what maybe I saw in the moment, because it was a change I just made. It was fresh in my mind. So I made a really good pitch there, down and away. And I like to think he's like, okay, the tip's not there. I don't know if any of that's true, but at the end of the day, fixing it or changing it wasn't something that was very hard for me to do. It was an easy fix, and it might have fixed the problem. Might as well give yourself, that. Here's the end of that at AB. So we're 0-2. We actually threw 2 breaking balls. And if you watch again, tight to the body. I show the ball. I tap still, but I don't show my hand at all. You can't see it. My body's completely blocking my hand. And I throw another breaking ball.
It's not there.
And threw a really good one. Locations were all really good, but again, that was a little bit of a fool there, right? Thinking a heater might be coming through 3 straight sliders. Sequence I never do usually, but also if there was a tip, it ain't there anymore. Fast forward Again, we're going quick up again, so there's not a lot of separate. There was a little separation there because it was the first hitter I faced. But again, it didn't happen very long, and I went smooth here. That was something Francisco Lindor said to me. He said, hey, when you were the best in Minnesota, when you were just getting up, throwing the ball, and not thinking very much and not going real slow to the plate, he goes, that was the hardest days for us to hit you. As soon as he told me that, I was like, thank you very much. I'm going to take that out with me next day. I threw a changeup here. It's a good pitch, run off the plate, but again, the tip, not there. Fortunately, I was able to strike out the side this day, and this guy ended up being my teammate, set at the belt. Looks exactly like usual. Let's see where I am when I come up. Again, hand close to the knee, closer to the body. I'm tapping. You can't see my hand. You can't see any space between me. And then you got to make a good pitch. As soon as you make a good pitch, and look at me, I'm fired up. You make a good pitch, you get it down on the way. And confidence has a lot to do with that as well. So those minor changes gave me the opportunity to, fix or to feel more confident in what I was doing out there. So tipping pitches is always something that you can look at and something that the best pitchers are constantly staying aware of. Those 4 things: complex sign set, holding runners, fielding in position, and being able to determine pitches. All of those are kind of like the minor things that if you do really well as a pitcher, you can be in this game for a long period of time and do it well. A couple of those things I don't do well at all. Fielding my position, for example, I can barely move. Those are things that I'm going to work on very, very hard this offseason because I want to take my game even to the next level. I feel like I've had a lot of success in the major leagues, but I want to be premier. I want to be the guy. Right, and I think that I have that potential to do it, but you got to be able to look at a lot of these things. So that was an adjustment I made. Whether Framber was tipping or not the other day, I don't know. But when you're told that, and when you're told, hey, you might be tipping, it gives you something outside of your normal work, your scouting report, your working on the focus, your ability to execute pitches, that might be something actionable that you can fix to give yourself confidence going into your next outing to kind of reset things a little bit. Changing something up in your mechanics is something we do regularly. If you're doing it for a reason that you think guys are picking up on something, you can fix that. It's an easy fix that might pay dividends in the short term and then the long term, obviously, but you got to stay on top of it. That's what we mean when we say tipping pitches, and that's a way that's an example of a way you can make the adjustment to kind of give yourself a better opportunity to be successful in the field. If you guys like this video, if you like this this commentary on things that are relevant in the baseball world, make sure that you like the video, comment on it, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have all kinds of videos going on here. I'm doing my best to kind of get in a good situation and get in a good workflow and get a well-oiled machine going here so that during the season, the vlogs and the educational content and the commentary is able to continue to go off without a hitch, without a lot of preparation and things. So if you guys like it, let me know in the comments. I love reading the comments. I love talking to you there, and I will see you next time for the next video here on the Trevor May Baseball channel. Have a great rest of your day.